Diana 女士，也是我们 HNR 我们这个口述历史中心的 PR Office 来给我们来介绍一下，发表一下我们今天的 Keynote Speech， 有请。
Hello, good morning, dear guests and friends, and welcome to today's Multicultural Forum. My name is Diana Chu. I'm the Public Relations Officer working with Friday and the other colleagues for this oral history projects. And Friday has touched base a little bit about what we're doing and how we're doing. So just please allow me to elaborate a little bit more. So the name of today's event is called multiculturalism. So when we hear the word multiculturalism, so most people, would think different countries, different languages, different races. So as a matter of fact, the word of multicultural has a deeper and a wider meaning. So when I did my research, I came across the Global Diversity Index. So the following criteria are used to measure the level of diversity. Next. So as you can see on the screen, and normally, based on our understanding, the diversity refers to the different ethnic diversities, immigrants, the spoken languages we have, and the religious. So more often, actually nowadays, we add more criteria into the, the diversity index, which includes, the LGBT rights and freedoms and level of personal freedom. So today, here, when we stand here and start talking about history, we're actually talking about history in this context. So according to the different measurement criteria, so we have different answers. So do you know, normally, like using the criteria showed on the previous page, 前面的那一页，再往前，回到刚才那一页。Yeah. So actually, a few countries in Africa ranked on the highest. It's just simply because of the multitude of tribal languages and groups. So if you look at Canada, Canada actually is considered the most diverse countries in the Western countries. So let me ask some questions. So to the audience, please raise your hand if you are the first generation immigrants. 所以请大家举手，如果你是第一代的移民。Okay, so hold your hands up, don't put it down. So my next question is, if you are the second generation immigrants, please raise your hands. No, the first one still put your hands up. Yes, please. So the third question is that if you are the immigrants, coming from the immigrants family, like you are the third generation, fourth generation, put your hands up. So look around and see the hands up. So with the hands up, actually is a way to demonstrate the diversity in Canada. Thank you so much. Put your hands down, please. So let's now look at some data. 下一页，谢谢。So this one actually is the immigrants' levels over the time. You can see the fluctuations over the time, and look at the recent 10 years. So the numbers actually is climbing high. So the next one, thank you. So here is the recent numbers, which came from the IRCC. And that is the number, for the next 2 years, including this year. That's the immigrants' numbers we want to bring into Canada. So remember that number, 400, over 400, K. So, if you look at those data, you may think about, as immigrants, when we get together, a very common topic we talk about is so how do you immigrate to Canada? You know, through which programs and what you experiences. So then you will hear a lot of different stories from each individuals. So all those stories, sometimes you feel amazed, surprised, shocked, frustrated, you know, but just the different stories. But if you still look at that number, so actually every numbers behind there is a stories, which means you will have a lot of stories from each immigrants. So don't you think when we put together all those stories, so it becomes a part of the history. So we are probably not as famous as the famous ones. So however, even as a drop of water, and we have a value to add to the ocean. So it is the reason why, as a team, we are here today, and it is our purpose to preserve the history, pass on that to the future generations. So we tell the world, we've been here, that's what happened, that's why it happened, and you know, that's how it happened. So, next page, please. A little bit of, you know, information just, you know, for you to relate it to the diversity. So nowadays, you know, like if you look at the data, actually 1/4, you know, the numbers, you know, on the labor market, you know, is newcomers. So in the future, it's gonna be the 1/3. So then you actually definitely, you know, like have a lot of newcomers surrounding in your working environment. Next one. Thank you. Ross. Next one. Thank you. So I think, you know, from the previous, you know, speech, you know, like people already talk about our projects. So our project actually started in China and crossed the border to Canada. So we plan to interview 150, you know, people, you know, Chinese immigrants. And right now we already completed 2/3, you know, Chinese immigrants interviewees. So, you know, according to the principle we have, you know, like as Fred mentioned, no judgment. We just simply to recall their stories. And so through the interview questions, we want to understand so why they made the choice, you know, to be here. So, you know what their journeys looks like, what happened. So next page, please. Next one, thank you. So you can actually click, yes, thank you. So among those people we interviewed, as you can see, they come from the different professions, you know, like they're working in the different professional field. So this is a trailer, you know, for today's video, which, you know, we're gonna play later on. But here is the trailer, you know, you can play, thank you.
Hard there, and they all want to experience Gold Mountain.